Morning and welcome to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33 WHPR Comcast 90 in Oakland and Livingston County, Comcast 91 in Detroit all day long, 247. Also, courtesy of the World Wide Web, we're on all the time. In fact, I was watching Richard's show on my phone before I even got here. We're all over the place, and thank you for joining us. I have an enjoyable and educational show for you today. I first have, and I told you last week, we're going to have the dentist on because there's some great things coming up for 2017, and we want to make sure that your teeth, health care, all of that is taken care of. And someone asked me a dentist question yesterday, so I cannot wait to ask them the question. And I have Mr. Ralph Armstrong, the international, phenomenal bassist. He's out with a new CD, Detroit Rising, everything Detroit. Everything Detroit. But first, and then we have Table Talk right after this show, and also at the very end of my show, I have an interview with Tia Mowry, who's one of the twins, you know, the pretty girls, and it's about the flu shot and giving your children the flu shot. So, without further ado, Doctors Blake and Ron Livingston. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. Good. Merry Christmas.
Oh, Lord, and your baby is getting so big, and she's just talking. Of course, according to Grandpa here, she's reciting the Gettysburg Address.
Right.
But
That's right.
that's the only baby who could do that.
That's right.
That's
3 months, right.
right. So how is it being a new dad? Is she keeping you up or sleeping through the
She's
night?
starting to sleep through the night now, so that's good. You know, I'm able to get a full night's rest.
Right. Well, you know, they say you should train the baby, but the baby really trains you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's good because she never had her days and nights mixed up, so she's been pretty.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. Her
I
mom's been
can
doing
always tell when he comes in the morning if he looks tired or not. Oh, that baby didn't sleep last night. Or, oh, she slept good. So I can tell as soon as he comes in.
Yeah, well, I was asked a question yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and the question was, why is the health connected? Why is everything connected to the teeth? How can they tell things? This lady asked me that yesterday, and I started to answer. I said the teeth, you know, you could tell so much about disease and everything the way your oral care is. Isn't that right?
Well, you know, it's your body is still connected to here. It's not like it's a separate entity, you know. And a lot of illnesses are related to inflammation, and a lot of inflammation manifests in the mouth, especially when it comes to gum disease. And gum disease is a indicator for a lot of the illnesses that we see in the mouth. Diabetes is the main one. Also, there's oral manifestations in terms of when your body, you know, the mouth has lots of bacteria and fungus that naturally occur. And when your immune system is compromised, then those bacteria and fungus multiply at a faster rate than your body can keep up with, and that's when we start to see different sort of pathology in the mouth where we could say, this isn't normal, you know, you need to go to your medical doctor and get X, Y, and Z checked out.
Well, the other day I was flossing, and
That's good.
oh yeah, I do that.
Good.
I do that, and I had a little irritation on my gum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was something I ate or whatever, but after a day it went away.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of times what we see, and patients will tend to floss incorrectly, as in they'll go in and they saw. You don't want to saw, you want to sweep. You're
Right.
going up and down. You're removing the food particles and the plaque and bacteria from the surface of the tooth, not cutting into the gums. And people, I've seen them do it, and they're like super vigorous because they want to do a good job, and it can cause irritation if it's done incorrectly. Same thing with using too hard of a toothbrush. You should always use a soft toothbrush. Back in the day,
I thought medium.
now, soft is about the best that you can use, because with a hard or a medium, because everybody brushes differently, and some people, you know, a hard toothbrush in their hand is a deadly weapon.
And my mother.
Yeah,
Yes.
they will scrub until the wheels come off, and then they'll get gum recession around the tooth where the root shows, which causes sensitivity to cold.
You can even wear away the enamel on your teeth from using a hard toothbrush. And
Over time.
removing plaque is not about the stiffness of your toothbrush, about your brushing technique.
Correct.
Well, I use an electric brush, but my mother, I was raised on hard.
Oh yeah, that's what we had. And the problem that we hear patients say, oh, my teeth don't feel as clean with a soft brush. Well, then use a toothpaste that has like baking soda in it. You know, something that has a little more of that grit to it that you can feel without damaging the enamel or the root surface. So use like an Arm & Hammer baking soda or one of those.
Not Arm & Hammer baking soda. Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste.
Yeah,
Right,
toothpaste.
I don't
right.
want to brush with baking soda. I hear it all the time. People tell me, oh, it makes my teeth feel clean. That's because it's scraping off the outer layer of your enamel. That's
Yeah, when I was a little girl, I heard about people brushing with
Oh,
And
yeah.
it
baking,
will whiten your teeth. but like I
baking
said-
soda.
Yeah, because you're scraping off the outer layer of the enamel. So you're removing the stain, but you're also removing enamel.
Over a period of time.
It can occur quickly, though, if you're using
Right.
baking soda.
Yeah, but you can use it. I mean, back in the day, and this I don't know why we did this, but I remember my grandmother would tear up a little. Remember all the bags you got from groceries were brown paper bags.
Yes.
She'd tear up a piece of that paper, put some baking soda and some salt, and you take a toothbrush, you wet it, put it in that, and that's what we used to brush with. And
Really?
she never had a cavity, so it must have worked.
Well, yeah, it must have worked, but you don't agree with
Oh
it.
no, not nowadays. I mean, we have many other options and things like that, but. Like I say, Arm & Hammer baking soda type toothpaste, the concentration of the baking soda is safe for daily use.
Okay, okay. And
But
now-
I like it. That's what I use. I use Arm & Hammer every day.
Oh yeah, Arm & Hammer came out with the detergent and everything. It just like they appeared
do
doing
it all.
that.
They do it all.
They do it all. Well, this year it's coming to the end of this year. Are you all taking any more appointments? Or
Yes.
people trying to use up
Yes,
their?
we are. People are now rushing in to try to
The
use
monitor.
them. Okay, they're trying to use up their benefits, which is what you should do because in most of these cases, it's use it or lose it. If you don't use it, it doesn't roll over. We are
Right.
starting to see a very few insurances lately that will allow you to roll over, but those are usually from, we have a patient that just came in who lives in Chicago, and with his insurance, it has a rollover, which I was kind of shocked to see. I don't think I've seen any in Michigan like that, but we have patients that come in from different states that have been our patients a long time who have moved to other states, but they still come back during the holidays to us to do their dental care. So
And the way that dental insurance works is every year you have a maximum amount of money. And at the end of the year, if you don't use that money, it just restarts to that same maximum amount. So that's what we mean by if you don't use it, you lose it. You're wasting what you're paying into by not using your benefits.
Well, do you find that the co-pays are getting higher for people?
Well, it depends. It depends on the insurance. It depends on the procedures that are getting done. It's a very highly variable question. Because it depends on a lot of different factors. I don't think that copays are getting higher. One of the issues is that in dental insurance, when it first started in the 70s, the maximum the patients had was $1,000. The maximum the patients have here in 2015 is $1,000.
in a lot of the plans, some
Gee,
of them,
that's
right, and that is the problem. Is like unlike your medical, where it's pretty much unlimited. With dental, there's a maximum. And like I say, it's usually lose it. It doesn't roll over. But in general, a lot of the procedures are covered at 100 or 80 or 75%. But usually, universally, dentures and partials and bridges are covered at 50% on almost all of the plans. So anybody that's getting a denture or a partial or a bridge, they have to pay 50% out of their pocket for that. But in terms of usually single crowns, fillings, gum treatments, those are covered at anywhere from 75 to 90% by the insurance. So your copayment would only be 10 to 25% of the cost,
Wow.
which we always inform patients before we do anything. We always inform before we perform. So there's none of that, I didn't know and you didn't tell. No, we tell everybody up front, and then we say, is that okay? And they say yes, and then we proceed. We don't proceed until the patient is fully understanding what their copayment situation is.
Have you ever
Always.
been looking in someone's mouth? Well, you all
Yeah.
do the X-rays. I know you look in people's mouth, but you all do the X-rays first, right?
Correct.
But have you ever been surprised
Oh.
after, okay, the X-rays, you know what you're going to do, then you come in and you see something that you didn't plan on
Oh
seeing?
yeah, that happens many times to the point where every once in a while you get a patient say, "Oh, I don't want an X-ray," so I can't do anything because you can see like I can see. But I've had situations where patients thought it was a minor situation, and I looked at it. It was kind of questionable, and then we take an X-ray, and it ends up being a severe, life-threatening situation. We've had a patient that's had,
Really?
like, amealoblastomas, oral cancers, that kind of thing, where the patient had
You could
no
tell?
idea. Oh yeah, it was. I mean, we were suspicious before we took the X-ray, but once we take the X-ray, it's confirmed. And we've had patients, and they've lost half their jaw over situations they came in for because they were having some pain. They thought it was a filling or whatever, and we take X-rays and found no, this is way severe. We got to get you to the oral surgeon like today, and it can be serious.
The other thing is also cavities are like, that poster of the iceberg where it shows just the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
and then underneath is a huge iceberg.
Right.
Well, that's because cavities, it starts with bacteria reacting with plaque in your mouth, and it creates acid. And the acid eats through the enamel. Okay, enamel is the hardest surface in the human body, harder than bone. Okay, so acid works its way through the enamel, and then underneath the enamel is dentin. So you have a little tiny pinpoint hole through the enamel, and it gets into that dentin, which is soft, and it blows up.
Right.
Okay, so clinically, when you're looking at the tooth, you say, "Oh, I got this little tiny hole," but then I take an X-ray, and I can see that half the tooth is gone.
Really?
Right. So a lot
Oh,
of
that's
times,
something really to be aware of, because a lot of people walk around with this little tiny hole thinking it's just a little tiny hole.
Right.
And it's shaped like a triangle, where the point will be where the small cavity is, but as it goes into the tooth, it expands and has a lot
I
of space.
invite you to call in with any dental questions. I invite you, because all of us have something, because I asked myself something this morning. Every day, it's very important when you're speaking or entertaining, or just day-to-day working,
Absolutely.
to have your teeth in order. And there's someone I saw as an entertainer, and they have a tooth missing in the front. And then I saw again, and I see the person, and they're always trying to cover. How much, if you have one tooth missing in the front, what would the dentist do?
Well, first thing we would ask you is, why do you have a front tooth missing? It's okay. No, I mean, there are several ways, from inexpensive, what we call a flipper, where we make a single tooth that's removable. You can take in and out. We can do that.
You can't.
yeah.
How would that single tooth work?
It fits across the roof of the mouth, and it's kind of scalloped around the edges, so it kind of snaps in and locks in around the other teeth. Or sometimes
What if the gum is closed up here?
we can still make it fit. We can still adjust it so it'll fit in there. But in those cases, a lot of times too, they have to use Fixodent or Polygrip or something like that to help hold it in place. We can go that from something expensive like that to a bridge, a 3-unit bridge, or we can do an implant. That's the most common things to do, a single tooth implant, which is permanent.
Is that covered by insurance?
Most insurances nowadays will cover implants because people demand coverage for procedures that they want. So
let me clarify that most commercial insurances will.
right,
When you
most
say commercial insurances,
in
such as?
Delta or Blue Cross, MetLife, Cigna, but through an
Aetna.
employer.
Yeah, usually through an
Okay?
employer.
If it's through the state, they're not going to cover any sort of implants or anything like
Right, they'll cover removable type appliances.
like a flipper,
or
and
partial.
or partial. And like my dad was saying, for a single tooth replacement, we can easily fix that. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But you have to make sure people need to make sure that they take advantage of what's available to them, like the Healthy Michigan plan, like Tri-State Advantage, which is through Medicare for seniors.
That's a great plan.
Wait, talk about that plan again, the one for seniors?
The one for seniors.
Listen,
It's
everyone.
called Tri-State Advantage. It's through Delta Dental. It's a Medicare supplement, and it's for people who qualify for Medicare and Medicaid. So, the information about it has come out kind of sparingly, but we have had some patients who had it. They called Medicare and they said they needed dental insurance, and they told them that they qualified for Tri-State Advantage, which is through Delta Dental, and it covers, exams, X-rays, fillings, cleanings, partials, dentures,
So
extractions.
what are the requirements?
From what I understand, which, like I said, the information is not the most complete, you have to qualify for Medicaid as well as be eligible for Medicare.
So 65 and up.
Yes.
65 and up. And it's been a great plan we have seniors who walk around with a broken denture, or they've lost their denture, or their denture is 10, 15, 20 years old, and they didn't have the resources to purchase get a new denture at this stage, because dentures can be kind of expensive. And they got Tri-State Advantage, and the Tri-State Advantage covered the entire amount. They paid zero. So this, and I'm kind of suspicious sometimes when you have these type of situations and these plans and benefits that are out there, but they don't spread the information to the people so they can take advantage of it.
Right,
It's like a
right.
secret.
Now,
But it's a great plan, and cost is zero to the patient.
I think the opposite of the Tri-State Advantage information is the Healthy Michigan plan.
Okay.
They advertise it very heavily. It's on the radio. They talk about it a lot, and a lot of people in Michigan have enrolled in Healthy Michigan plan, which is Medicaid expansion. It's people who make too much to qualify for regular Medicaid, but they don't They don't make enough to buy a plan on the healthcare exchange for Obamacare.
Right.
Okay.
So patients with Molina and some of these other plans, they will have their dental plan associated, attached to their Molina and some of the other plans. And like I say, our experience, Delta Dental Plan is one of the top ones.
Well, I have a question for you. Who's your dentist?
Right here.
Who's your dentist? I just thought I'd ask. I just thought I asked, but
And he doesn't even charge me. So
okay, everybody. Yes,
that's my dentist right
that's
there.
the real Livingston family dentist.
That's right. That's
They're
right.
right there.
That's how we
So the Healthy Michigan plan, because I hadn't heard of it until I heard of it from you. You say it's advertised on the radio?
Yeah, they talk about it on the radio all the time. They have enrollment fairs at DMC. They sign people up when the radios are doing promotional things over at the McDonald's and Burger Kings and Tim Hortons and stuff like that. They talk about it on the radio all the time. Yep. And Healthy Michigan Plan is part of Medicaid expansion, which is a federally funded program that states could opt in to enroll in. 30 states enrolled, only 3 states with Republican governors did, and Michigan is one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So we should take advantage of this opportunity and use it, because in 2017 it's going to switch from primarily federally funded to state funded. And Michigan isn't exactly overflowing with money, so chances
Well,
are...
and not only that, the Republican Party usually votes against anything,
Right.
traditionally.
Traditionally, but in here, this is a blessing. And our Governor Snyder, who's a Republican, he was one of the few Republican
Right.
governors who approved it.
Right.
And, kudos go out to him. Yeah.
Kasich in
Kasich was
Ohio.
And then
Yeah.
the other one was, I believe, Arkansas, I think
Yeah.
was the other one. But then also we have, they're in 2017, and the Republicans just passed something in the House to repeal Medicaid expansion, but it will never happen. Obama's going to veto it. But the problem
Why
is,
would they do that, though?
Well,
it's just their first step in removing Obamacare. That's what they want to do. It's not going to happen, but that's what they want to do.
Well, it helps so many poor people.
That's against their policy.
And-
But Medicaid expansion, over 250,000 people have signed up in the state of Michigan. And
How many?
Over 250,000. So if they remove this, then you're going to yank the rug out from under 250,000 people or more. And people sign up every day.
Right. So
Every day. And
quarter
then
million people
in
lose their
Kentucky,
benefits.
they got a new governor.
A Republican.
They used to have a Democrat, now
Right.
they have a Republican, and they are also another state that has over 250,000 people enrolled in Medicaid expansion, and he ran on reversing reversing Obamacare, and they're going to get rid of Medicaid.
What does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't
It
hurt anything
helps.
because it's primarily federal money.
Right.
So
But it's also, we have an opportunity where, it depends on who becomes president. I'm sure if, Lord willing, Hillary is elected, the Democrats, it'll be maintained, but you can never tell if your boy Donald Trump gets in there, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. So the bottom line is,
Hey, why would you say my boy?
Not you, I didn't mean-
You
I
have
didn't mean
no,
literally.
no,
I didn't mean-
seriously, I was,
Yeah.
you have no idea how much I'm repulsed by him.
I know, that's why I said it as a joke. I knew that was the wrong, you were the opposite of that. But and like Dr. Blake is saying, though, if we only have this 1 year, 2016, to take advantage of this situation, it would behoove you to take advantage of that situation, because free health care does not come along very frequently. And
It sure doesn't.
Who knows how long it'll last. And we see patients who have 1 month they've had it, and then for whatever reason they lose it, or they'll procrastinate with it, and now they're in trouble. They have all types of issues, health issues, and they'll say, well, you had it 2 months ago and you didn't take advantage of it, and now you're not covered, but they still have the problem. So like I say, it's not a matter of if you get these things taken care of, it's a matter of when, because patients know they're there, but they keep putting it off until they lose their benefits.
but they need to take care of it when the insurance is available.
Right, I have a question. Wisdom teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they call them that? But also, Are they just extra teeth that grow in your mouth that have to be taken out?
Wisdom teeth are considered like a vestigial organ, like an appendix or a tail, kind of. However,
A tail? Wait, what the heck is a tail?
Some people have tails.
some people are born with a tail, but you don't need it.
No,
It's not
wait a
something you
minute.
really
No,
need.
no, let's get back to the tail.
Google it.
What kind of tail?
Like a
Where
little
is
tail,
it?
like a little animal
You
tail.
know, like we evolved and we used to have tails and we used to have larger skulls. That's why we have wisdom teeth. Because humans used to have much larger skulls, okay?
Tails?
So that's why we had more teeth.
You mean people have tails that grow out the back?
Yeah, off their tailbone, off their coccyx. Yeah.
Well,
Look, Google it.
And an appendix. Appendix doesn't serve much function.
Yeah, but
okay?
I've heard of the appendix, but
Never heard of tail? Google it. Go on YouTube.
But
There's
anyway,
probably
so
videos.
Anyway.
wisdom
People with
teeth.
tails.
Humans used to have significantly larger skulls, okay, thousands of years ago, and we needed larger posterior teeth to chew and eat because we didn't cook things and
Right.
it wasn't the same. Our functions weren't the same, so we had larger jaws that could hold a wisdom tooth. As we've evolved, our skulls have shrunk and our jaws have shrunk, and we don't have space for wisdom teeth anymore. Now, not every. I have all my wisdom teeth. 'cause
Do you?
I got a big head.
Yeah, he's got a huge head.
so they all fit in there.
oh, the size of your head?
Yeah, I mean
sorry.
that's what dictates whether you'll have enough space for wisdom teeth or not.
You hear that?
Yeah, he's got like room for 80 teeth. You're only supposed to have 32. You can have 80.
So some people, they don't come in properly, they come in the wrong direction, they come in sideways, backwards, upside down, whatever, and they have to be removed. And other people, they come in and you can clean them and brush them normally, chew with them, and it's like myself, and it's normal.
Oh, okay. I thought almost everyone lost their
We
wisdom
did. I mean,
tooth.
routinely back, a little while back, it was routine. Wisdom teeth came in, we removed them. Now it's like if it's not bothering you, it doesn't bother us. If you're not having any symptoms from it, then we'll advise you of it. Make sure we watch it. Make sure you watch it. But if there's no issue with it, they can stay in there. His stayed in there. But we do see patients all the time where they'll have such an issue that they can't even open their jaw due to the infection. So we can't even get in there and take an X-ray. We have to send them to oral surgeon and take X-ray from the outside.
Well, that's very important. I want to abscesses and infections.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to that and why people how long should you be bothered with something before you seek a dentist?
That's an excellent question. You must have read my mind because we just had a patient who was referred to us from Beaumont Hospital who had been in the hospital for the weekend because she had septic infection where the infection got into her bloodstream. She had to go to the emergency room. They kept her. They did surgery. They put a drain in her jaw, and then they sent her to us on Monday morning, and we took care of her after that. But she was in bad shape.
What happens is bacteria in an infection is looking for a route of escape. Okay, so when there's an abscess, that bacteria is eating its way through the tissue to the
Now,
side
you
of the
could
gum.
tell you have an abscess. How?
An abscess is a little pimple on the gum.
Okay.
Okay?
Starts as that.
You hear
Starts as
that?
a pimple on the gum. And what happens is people see that it's a little pimple on the gum, and then it doesn't really hurt, and then it goes away. So they ignore it. But what that tells us is that there's an infectious process going on. It could either be decay to the nerve of the tooth. The nerve of the tooth is dying because of trauma, or
Periodontal disease.
something that has to do with gum disease. So something is below the gum line that has caused an infection. Bacteria is building up there.
Would you start getting a fever?
If it was not from an abscess,
Or
typically.
would you start swelling?
That's the difference between what happens is that bacteria is looking for a route to escape. Okay, so when it finds a route to escape, it forms an abscess, which is the little pimple on the gum because the bacteria starts to drain out of that abscess. But when it can't find a route to escape, it causes swelling. The bacteria continues to multiply, but it stretches the tissue out because it can't find that little pinhole escape, which is the abscess. So you start to have swelling. When you start to have swelling, seek medical attention immediately.
Because that's when you can start to get a fever. After that, initially you can get an abscess. It can come and go. It can be small, but that abscess can rapidly, as in overnight, turn into what we call a cellulitis, which is a hard board-like swelling. It's hot to the touch. The patient starts to feel sickly at that point, like the patient we were talking about before. She had that chronic situation where it would come and go, come and go. Well, this time it came and stayed. And the bacteria and infection got into her bloodstream, and she had a septicemia. That could take you out of here. So
Yeah,
And
you
also-
could die.
Yes,
Yes.
also cellulitis, that board-like hard, hot
Yeah.
swelling,
Yeah.
that can cut off your airway, that can, you can lose your eye, you can go to your brain. These are things that not something to play with.
Right.
A dental infection can lead to serious problems. And part of the thing is, like I was saying, you get the abscess, it goes away. You get the abscess, it goes away. But then it comes back one day, and your face is swollen up like a beach ball.
And people will tend to try to medicate these things away. Get some penicillin, it goes away. Get some more penicillin, goes away. Get some Tylenol, goes away. Eventually, you're going to pay the price because what's causing the infection is not being addressed. You're treating the symptoms, not the cause. So you have to treat the cause so it's permanently eliminated. So, and this is why I say what happened with this patient. We looked at X-rays like, wow, you got a serious situation here. How long is this? Oh, it would come and go, come and go. I go to the emergency room. They give me some antibiotics and some pain medication. It would go away for a couple months. But like Dr. Blake is saying, when it can't find a way to escape eventually, because every time it ruptures, it forms a little scar there, and it can't come out of that opening again because there's scar tissue over it. So it has to find somewhere else. So when it can't, then you get that swelling.
Wow.
Not a good thing.
God, I want to hang myself. Gosh.
Just go to the dentist instead.
Let's see the gift
All right.
bag. Let's see the gift bag before.
So we are going to be having a giveaway. We have the Oral-B Pro 5000 toothbrush that we're going to be giving away to a new patient in February.
We'll have a raffle.
We're going to have a raffle. Every new patient that comes in, put your name in a little fishbowl, and we're going to draw it at the end of February and give away this toothbrush.
And they are worth it. This is worth it.
Along with some toothpaste, floss, toothbrush heads, mouthwash, all that good stuff. This toothbrush is a $130 toothbrush, and that's what I use at home. This is the best toothbrush, in my opinion.
Right.
I've used the most expensive Sonicare, I've used the most expensive Oral-B, and this one is the best one, in my opinion. I think studies have shown that the amount of brushes that a regular toothbrush does in 1 month, this does in 2 minutes. So even if your brushing technique is poor, you're still going to remove more plaque with this than you ever will with a regular toothbrush.
Right. And this comes with a travel case, additional heads, and this is crazy. It's got Bluetooth. So
Really?
It's got Bluetooth, and it has an app for your phone where it tracks how you're brushing, where you're brushing, if you're doing a good job, if you're not doing that. Here's a Bluetooth. It can connect to your phone, and this is awesome. The technology is crazy.
If you can look at Instagram and Snapchat every 10 minutes, you can at least check and make sure you're brushing your teeth right.
Yeah.
And this is really, and like Dr. Blake said, this is, I use this. I didn't, for years, I said, 59-cent toothbrush, that's all you need. I'm old school. And he taught me into using this. And now, even if I go somewhere on the weekend, I take my electric toothbrush. I won't even use it. And
Right.
the difference is,
You get used to it.
But it just does the job. I didn't believe it. But this is so, every time you use this, it's going to give you proper brushing technique and a proper cleanliness all the time. If you're, sometimes people will brush their teeth. They're quick. They grab the brush real fast. I got to go. And they leave, and they miss the side, or they miss the inside, or they miss the side over here. Now they got some inflammation. Now they got some bleeding. With this thing, you do, it counts it down. You do 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds here. It has a timer. I say now it has an app too. But it's fantastic. My wife has it. Everybody has it.
Okay.
It's the way to go. It is kind of, like I say, this is $130, but I say in February we'll do a raffle off for new patients.
Is that a call? Okay, we have to take it real quick because I have to get to my next guest. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Perryman. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Good. This is Wanda Akila Redmond.
Hi, Akila.
First of all, I want to comment on how beautiful you look.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You do look like
I told you before, you always look so beautiful.
Thank you.
I sit back and take lessons. But I wanted to comment on my dentist there, both of them. And I'm calling you in just to let the audience know that there is a WHPR listener and participant who has taken advantage of the services at Livingstons Family Dentistry. And I want to let everyone know that they are highly professional. They attend to you with care. And educate you as well. And I also want to thank you for having the mind to educate us about oral health, because that is one of the things that is missing in our community.
Yes, it is.
And real quick, I know you have to go, but I was just thinking, listening to them, when I was a little girl, the schools used to have a dentist office in the schools. So I just wanted to call in to give some support and let the audience know that there are people who have actually gone and who like their services, and I recommend them to our listening audience.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Raffle. We appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank
You're just
you.
a wonderful person. Merry Christmas to you.
Happy
Thank you, and
holidays,
thank you.
Akila. I hope I see you sometime during this time. So,
I'm sure we will.
all
God
righty.
bless everyone. Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful day.
Thank you. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that was good.
That's another commercial
Yeah,
for
right,
you.
there we go.
Okay, we have it on the screen, but tell the audience very quick where they could call in, and they could call in right now.
You can call right now. There's somebody there to take your call. Our phone number is 313-883-3050. We're located in Highland Park on Woodward, 2 blocks north of the Davison.
Right, right. And if your teeth,
Are not becoming to you,
then you should be coming to us.
All right.
And I'd like to thank them, of course, for sponsoring our show for
we
the
love you,
last
Ms. Perryman.
couple of years or so, and I really appreciate it. And have a beautiful smile,
That's right. And a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
and a Happy New Year.
We'll be back in just a moment with Ralph Armstrong.
All right.